Tim Drake, also known as Red Robin, is back in Gotham City. Unfortunately, though, his older counterpart is there as well. He's much more intelligent, much more powerful, and unfortunately, he's also much more evil and intent on killing Batwoman. Let's talk about A Lonely Place of Living Part 3 in Detective Comics number 967.
I'm in love with a hero. I'm in love with the one who will.
Oh my god, this was such a great issue. Before I go into it, you should know there's going to be major spoilers. As you're already aware, Tim Drake was taken by Mr. Oz, as was his older counterpart, who happened to be Batman in his future. But this older Tim Drake Batman is much more ruthless and much more ready to kill. This issue starts up very close after the end of the previous issue, where the older Tim Drake electrocuted the younger Tim Drake to the point where he was almost killed. Luckily, though, he has enough sense to take off his costume and go to a hospital. At this point, Bruce Wayne meets him. I will say that I felt very emotional with the reunion of these two. It was really irking me the entire time that Bruce Wayne had no idea until recently that Tim Drake was still alive. But let's go and put that to the side for the time being. When Tim returned back to the rest of the team, I didn't really feel like an emotional connection between him and the other team members. The only exception was Orphan. It felt like she missed him, but that was it. I mean, I guess we couldn't have like a big group hug, but I was hoping for something like that. Tim explains the situation to the rest of the team and the fact that they now have to protect Batwoman. He also calls this team the Gotham Knights, which I think is a great name for them. Tim brings up the name Connor, which was told to him by his older counterpart. Nothing is really explored with this yet, but I do like the idea that they're hinting that something else is going to be coming out of this, possibly from the Doomsday Clock storyline that DC is going to be doing very soon. And I'm loving that he's saying that the name is pulling at his heart, which is something that many fans out there know, that these two were so close together. They were pretty much romantically involved with each other. We see older Tim make a small stop to be a creeper and watch Spoiler from a distance without letting her know that he's there. Then he makes his way to the Wayne mansion where he meets Alfred. And we get such an emotional response from Alfred that he hugs him, and I love that too. But I think one of the best parts about this issue is we have Nightwing, Red Hood, and Damian all face off against this older Tim Drake. He's very cocky and full of himself, and he totally takes all three of them down. I am disappointed that we didn't get to see it though. I mean, I would have loved to see him take down all three of them at the same time. That's a very minor thing. Anyways though, the younger Tim Drake finally shows up with the real Batman to give reinforcements to the fallen Robins. At this point, the older Tim Drake reveals why he came to the Batcave to begin with. He explained that he continued on work on a software that Bruce Wayne started, but that the older Tim Drake perfected. It turns out is Brother Eye. There's a couple different past stories involving Brother Eye, so I'm curious as to what direction this is going to be taken. But it ends at that point, and I am so curious as to what's going to happen. There are many different great points about this issue. I'm glad that it's tying in with everything that's happening in Action Comics at this time. Like there's mention of a terrorist attack happening in Metropolis, which that is happening during the Oz Effects storyline right now. I would have loved this issue to been double-sized so that we could see a reunion between Dick Grayson and Tim Drake. Dick always acted like his big brother. There's still no real explanation as to why Mr. Oz took both younger Tim and older Tim out of their time streams. But like I already said, this is tying in with Action Comics and somewhat with the Justice League of America issue that came out this week as well. The three of these books seem like they are leading up to Doomsday Clock. So I remain confident that everything will be explained and it won't just be brushed to the side, and we'll also have the return of Connor Kent, also known as Superboy. So obviously I love this issue. James Tynion is the writer, and I really love the direction he's going. He's almost as big of a Tim Drake fan as I am. Almost. So I'm so stoked for the next issue. If you're interested in reading this issue yourself, this is from DC Comics, so it's available at just about any comic book store anywhere, or you can go to their website and download a digital copy directly from them. But what do you think about this storyline? I'm biased, being that I'm such a huge Tim Drake fan, and I would love anything that he's in. But do you think that this is a good story? Do you like the direction they're going with it? Do you like how they're just putting in certain clues about what's going to be happening in the future, or do you not like it at all? Leave comments down below and let me know. With that, thank you guys for watching me in this video. If you made it up to this point, you are pretty darn awesome. Check out my Patreon site when you get a chance. Check out my website, my social media sites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
The one who will always win. He's a prominent.
Connor Kent, also known as Con-El, also known as the real Superboy, is coming back. There's no doubt about that. Whether or not he's going to be coming back in the Doomsday Clock storyline or another storyline, I'm not sure. But there better be a huge reunion between him and Tim Drake. These are the two that really started off their generation of superheroes, and I really want to see some sort of heartfelt embrace between the two of them.